So keeping promises to yourself is the most impactful way to build up your confidence and belief in yourself over time. We hear people talk about that all the time. Ed Milet talks about it. Gary Vee talks about it. Brad Lee talks about it. They talk about how simple and easy it is to build up your confidence and belief in yourself by simply keeping promises that you make to yourself. But why is it that so many people fail to do this? How many times have you said, man, I'm going to lose that 10 pounds. Man, I'm going to quit scrolling on social media late at night. Man, I'm going to stop, sleeping in on the weekends. Man, I'm going to do this. Man, I'm going to do that. But then you break that promise to yourself. And every time that you do that, you're doing the opposite of building confidence. You're casting doubt on yourself. You're sending your subconscious a message saying, I can't do it. I'm not good enough. I don't want it. Every single thought and action that you take results in a score that is internalized. And your subconscious is keeping score of these small decisions and actions you take on a day-by-day basis. Your subconscious knows who you are based on this score. So no matter how many times you say abundance, no matter how many affirmations you write down, no matter how many times you try to convince yourself or tell others what you're going to do, your subconscious and the core being of who you are right now knows the truth. And that's the person that you're bringing to the world. That's the person that you're showing up as. That's the person that walks into a room and is seen by everyone. That's the person that you show up for your children, your wife as. That's the individual that you are. It's not the person that you envision becoming, that gift from God. It's the person that you're living as right now. And everybody has a vision of who they want to be. Everybody has that gift that you've been blessed, right? That passion, that desire, that intuition inside of you that's calling you to become a certain person. It's a gift. But most people will never reach that level of their potential. Most people will never become that person because they can't win the fight every day versus their self, and they're losing the battle. And this is what I want to talk to you about today, because I was this close to losing the battle today. This morning I woke up, body was tired, fatigued. I just felt it today. I felt it. But I know from years of experience that those are the days that I have to show up. And those are the days that you typically feel the best when you do show up. So I was sipping my coffee and just reflecting like I do every morning. It was 4 a.m. and I was sitting on my couch reflecting on my day. Then that voice inside of my head started saying, oh man, you don't have to run today, Sean. You've been crushing it. You're on fire. Why don't you just work on a project? Why don't you work on something else that you have on your plate and you can get some calories in your body, rejuvenate, get some extra caffeine in, and go to the gym after you drop off your daughter at preschool. And it sounded pretty damn good. That couch was comfortable. I was pretty mellow and relaxed in that moment. But I knew that if I didn't take action, I would have regretted it. And it's not the action itself. It's the promise that I've kept to myself and the standard I've set that I have to meet each and every day. Because if I meet that standard and I go to sleep tonight knowing that I gave my all, that's a win. And no one can take that from me. And the more I stack up these wins day by day, guess what happens? My identity, my belief in self, my confidence, they all elevate. And over time, I start to see the world differently because I'm a different caliber individual. So things like money, you want money. Things like success, you want success. Things like accolades, things like fulfillment, things like a purpose-driven life start to just become my existence because I'm becoming someone that can create them. Do you understand this? It's not the person that suddenly wins the lottery overnight. It's the individual that grinded every day of his life, tried a bunch of different jobs, started businesses that failed but never quit, and ultimately finds that success and then has the story to tell that truly inspires the world. It's not a quick fix scheme. It's not a pill. It's not a McDonald's drive-thru. You get food instantaneously. It's the person that creates and cultivates this energy internally every day by winning that internal battle. And when you keep the promises to yourself, you will love yourself for it. And that's what it all comes down to. And I was talking to a client today who goes, Sean, it's so logical and it's so simple and you make it sound so simple, but why is it so hard? He goes I know when I drink, I know when I eat this crappy food, I know when I don't do things that my heart is calling me to do, I regret it. And I know when I regret it, then it leads to more of those self-sabotaging behaviors because I feel bad and guilty. He goes, I know waking up early makes me feel good. I know working out every day makes me feel good. I know who I want to be, but why can't I be that man consistently? Like, why do I break these promises to myself and sabotage my results? And that's 99% of people's problem, is deep down inside they have some reservation or some belief that they don't have to show up to win the fight every day. And I'm here to tell you that that couldn't be further from the truth. I'm 10 years in the making. 5 years fighting the internal battle in prison, and 5 years out here pursuing my vision and being the leader, the coach, and the influencer that I know that I'm created to become. Now, do you think that just because I went through 5 years of prison, I can now coast on that achievement or that growth for the rest of my life? No. It got me so far and it served me to an extent, but I have to show up today to be that man that I want to be. I have to show up today to take the actions that are going to move me forward in my life. I have to show up today to cultivate the internal energy so I can come home and share that man with my family, share that man with my wife and children, share that man with you in this video. This is the daily process. It's an internal battle. It's you versus you. And every day that you show up and you keep promises to yourself and you do what your heart is calling you to do, you grow immensely. That is where fulfillment is created. That is where self-love is created. That's where your confidence and belief in self is derived. And then you show up in the world as a different caliber individual because you're living differently. You're showing up daily for you. So therefore you can show up at the highest level for all those people you say you love, all those people who depend on you and need you. This is it. This morning, when I went out and ran in the dark, the first mile, I wasn't feeling it. I was still tired. I was still being overwhelmed by negative thoughts, doubt, excuses, all the stuff that we deal with. But I know that about mile 1.5 or 2, I break that sweat, that internal engine's revved up, and you see a whole different caliber individual. And you see it in my clips on social media. You see when that inspiration hits. You hear the passion in my voice when I articulate this message. This isn't something I fabricate. This is what happens when you follow through with what you said you were going to do. That joy, that love that you create cannot be quelled. I couldn't hide it or fake it. I got to share it with you guys. I have a message to share with you that was gifted from above because I made the right choice today. And guess what? I put out that message and someone feels it and someone needed to hear it. And I know that I'm in alignment with my best self because I get messages all the time that say, Sean, man, you were running this morning. I felt like you were talking right to me. I hit snooze and I knew it was the wrong choice. Sean, I've been struggling. I've been drinking all day, man. I know this isn't the man that I want to be. I watched one of your videos and you're speaking to my soul. Sean, I see you up in the morning every day, man. That's the way I want to live. And I know that I'm in alignment with my best self because that's confirmation because I'm following through with my truth. And when I get confirmation from other people in the world around me, I know that I'm tapped in and I'm serving at the highest level. That's my purpose. That's my purpose and my mission on this earth. What's yours? Do you know? Have you tapped in? Are you attuned at that level where you followed your truth and intuition every day for years and years and years to the point where you have that clarity? You have that purpose that you've created. You are that purpose-driven man now. Or are you still breaking promises to yourself, struggling, wondering why you don't feel the way you want to feel, wondering why you don't have the results that you want, looking around you, wishing you had more money, wishing you had better relationships, wishing you had a better body? Don't you realize those are all symptoms of you and this daily fight that you're losing? Don't you realize that when you start to win the battle with self each and every day, then you can start to look externally in your world and resolve those problems? Don't you realize that until you master self, you can never master your external world, relationships, finances, business, and all these things that people want to focus on? You have to master self first. You have to create a process daily that allows you to win this internal battle and show up in life as your best self, growing every step of the way. This morning, when I finished that run on an all-out sprint for the last half mile, I was exhausted, but I finished as the sun was coming up, and I was just gasping for air, and all I felt was internal peace, man. All I felt was just this love and affinity for the way I showed up for myself in that moment. And I knew that I cultivated the energy that I could then bring home to my wife and children. And it brought forth even more joy because I was this close to skipping out on that moment and never getting to experience that moment. One day, one moment, but it is representative of my entire life. That moment was symbolic of the way I'm showing up each and every day and the level of commitment I'm bringing forth to myself in this world. I've kept promises to myself every day for the last 10 years, showing up as the man my heart's calling me to be. And literally my whole world continues to transform before my eyes. And you hear people talk about the law of attraction. It's real. but you have to become the person that can attract these gifts into your life. You can't just sit there every morning and wish these things into existence. It doesn't work that way. You can't just sit there and say abundance all day, but not take the actions to become the person that can attract these things into your life. You can't wake up every day and write down affirmations, but then sabotage through your daily actions and expect to get the results you want. You have to be willing and committed to be this person every single day. And when you are and when you do, nobody can tell you anything. You'll never doubt yourself. You'll never hold back because of fear. Those things will be there, but you've learned and proven through daily tests that you will not let them stop you. Every time you show up ready to win the war, ready to fight this internal battle, and you don't back down, you grow stronger. Your resolve grows. Your belief in self internally grows, and you become someone over time that you love, that you admire, that you always wanted to be. It's never going to happen overnight. It's never going to happen in this next year. Dedicate yourself for the rest of your life to being this man that you want to be. That's why I've created my brand, #365MFR, because I want you to go into this journey with the mentality that this is never over. This is a quest and odyssey that I will embark upon for the rest of my life. And that should excite you because your growth is never over. Do you just want to be done and sit around? When you're stagnant, you start to die. When you're stagnant, you're actually regressing. When you're stagnant, your spirit becomes corrupted, and then you look at that food, that drink, that porn, those external sources of temporary pleasure, but they never fulfill you. They're temporary. They never fulfill you. The way to experience enlightenment and perpetual fulfillment in your life is to continue on this journey every single day, showing up to win this battle internally, showing up to be that man that you know you're being called to become, and keeping those promises to yourself. Start with an early wake-up time. Start with a workout. Start with your nutrition. Those three things will help you to calibrate yourself internally so that you show up in your day with more discipline, with more confidence, and with a track record of building these wins into your day by keeping these promises to yourself. Don't try to do too much at once. Focus on waking up early while it's uncomfortable. Focus on moving your body every day before the sun comes up, and be mindful of what you're eating and put food in your body that fuels you, that helps you to create clarity, energy, and that's not sabotaging the results that you want in life. Those three things, I promise you, will start to build up this belief in self that I can because I am. Then you take that belief and confidence and you attack the bigger goals in life, the business, the finances. You leave that 9 to 5 and you start your own company, right? Your relationships, you start to focus more on being the man that your family needs. Then you can continue to grow with this awareness. Then you can continue to take this self that you've created in this perspective and attack the bigger moments in life. And it's not just the accomplishments, but it's the adversity that you will inevitably face. You're ready for it when you show up every day with this process that I'm sharing with you. No matter what comes, a recession, COVID, a death in the family, I tell you all the time, you're going to be ready to be the rock your family needs. You're going to be ready with the strength internally to persevere. But if you're that guy that's breaking promises and you're creating a weak mental state, if you're that guy that's neglecting his body and physically you're just weak and inferior, when those moments come in your life, when you lose your business, when finances are stressful, when the recession hits, you're going to be that guy scared, right? Buckling at the knees because you haven't been preparing for these moments. So you will prepare yourself for the adversity in life, and you'll be ready to seize opportunities and push yourself to become great when you keep promises to yourself each and every day. You got to show up for you first before you can show up for the outside world and the people that depend on you. Let's fucking go.
There's so much more for you to tap into. You have so much more to give. You have so much strength. You have more resolve, more resiliency. You are made for more. Can't you see it? I know you feel it. I know when you go to bed at night, you question and wonder, is there more for me? Can I achieve more? Why am I holding back? This is the chance right now to let go of your limitations, to believe in the person you want to be, not the one you settled for. Click the link and join my program. I promise I'll walk with you side by side and show you the way. Let's take action right now to be the man that you want to be. No more excuses. This is for you and your family right now. Let's go. There's